This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home alone or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
And it is a Friday full of drama and westerns here on Classic Radio Theater, with episodes of The Cavalcade of America, Philo Vance, Jimmy Stewart as the six-shooter, Have Gun Will Travel starring John Dehner, and Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this Friday, the 27th day of December, 362nd day of the year, just 4 days left till we get to 2025. Charles Darwin embarking on his journey aboard the HMS Beagle, where he would formulate the theory of evolution. Ether anesthetic used for childbirth on this date in 1845 for the first time. 1904, James Barrie's play Peter Pan premiered in London. 1927, Leon Trotsky expelled from the Communist Party. Radio City Music Hall opened on this date in 1932. And in 1945, the World Bank created with the signing of agreement by 28 nations. Debuting on this date in 1947, Howdy Doody.
Say, kids, what time is it? Doody, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy, Mr. Doody. And boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go.
Buffalo Bob Smith and Howdy Doody premiering on NBC on this date in 1947. In 1968, the long-running radio program The Breakfast Club signed off for the last time from ABC.
Presenting America's favorite, the NBC Breakfast Club with Don McNeil.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. We woke up bright and early just to howdy do ya. Coffee's on and fruit and toast, bacon and skillet. Joe Galigio and his boys have tunes to fill it. So come on, gang, let's take a poll of this day's meeting. Line up, kids, I'll call the roll and sing your greetings. Nancy Martin.
Well, how do you do?
And Jack Baker. Glad to see you. The Vagabonds, our guests today.
The breakfast club first, wake up and smile. It's
start the morning happy, make life worthwhile. Good morning, breakfast lovers, good morning to ya. We got 'em bright and early to hallelujah. Daddy, mama, sister, brothers, uncle, we don't care. America, alright. The breakfast club is on the air. Good morning. No chance, please. Just good morning. It's December 8th, 1941, Monday morning. Fine day. Glad to see you around the breakfast table. Hiya, boys.
Maintaining the positive attitude on the day after December 7th. The show ran for years and years and years. ABC ending the show because they were going to go to a whole new concept. They would provide 4 or 5 different radio networks on their lines, and they didn't want to interrupt it for an hour. So there you go. Breakfast Club ending on this date in 1968. Closing on Broadway after 2,844 performances, Hello, Dolly.
Bridge that gap, fellas, find me an empty lap. Fellas, Dolly'll never go away again.
Carol Channing, Hello, Dolly, ending on Broadway on this date in 1970. In 1979, the Soviet Union seized control of Afghanistan, and Babrak Karmal replaced the overthrown and executed leader, President Hafizullah Amin.
Such gross interference in the internal affairs of Afghanistan is in blatant violation of accepted international rules of behavior.
President Carter not at all happy about the Soviet Union's actions on this date in 1979. In 1985, Palestinian guerrillas killed 18 people inside the airports of Rome, Italy, and Vienna.
I do not believe, therefore, that the local commanders on the ground, men who have already suffered quite enough, should be punished for not fully comprehending the nature of today's terrorist threat. If there is to be blame, it properly rests here in this office and with this president. And I accept responsibility for the bad as well as the good.
This was a terrorist attack against many nationalities, many countries. As I've said before, we're all in this together. Unfortunately, again, there were Americans killed, but there were also innocent victims of other nationalities. And as I said, we can only deplore and condemn in the strongest terms this sort of cowardly criminal act.
Bombings across 3 nations by Palestinians on this date in 1985. In 1996, Taliban forces retook the strategic Bagram Air Base, which solidified their buffer zone around Kabul, Afghanistan. In 2001, the People's Republic of China granted permanent normal trade relations with the U.S. Passing away on this date in history, Hoagy Carmichael, great composer. Also General Norman Schwarzkopf, basketball player and minister Meadowlark Lemon, and actress Carrie Fisher. Born on this date in history, French scientist Louis Pasteur, actress and singer Marlene Dietrich, the pianist Oscar Levant, from Good Times, John Amos, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 84, and pro wrestler Joanie Laurer, better known as Chyna, born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Actor Gerard Depardieu is 76 today.
We made a deal. If I leave quickly, then you keep your beautiful greenhouse.
From the motion picture Green Card, Gerard Depardieu is 76. Singer-songwriter Carla Bonoff is 73. Pro wrestler Bill Goldberg's 58. From the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie is 53. Country's Walker Hayes is 45. He is best known now for his time in both All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor Wrestling. Claudio Castagnoli, he was Cesaro in the WWE and badly misused there. 44 years of age. Paramore lead singer Hayley Williams is 36.
Ain't it fun?
Ain't It Fun? Haley Williams, 36 today. From Bates Motel, Vanity Fair, and Ready Player One, Olivia Cook is 31. And he got an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in Call Me By Your Name. Timothy Chalamet is 29. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 27th day of December as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
DuPont's Cavalcade of America comes up next, going all the way back to wartime, 81 years ago, December 27th, 1943, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
This holiday, BMW has reunited three members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details. At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Means you've got to be smarter than ever at figuring ways to fix the meals your families want, especially since you don't have as many points as you used to. Well, the smartest thing to do is to get extra points by turning in waste fats. You know, your meat dealer will give you cash and 2 red points for every pound you turn in. So get going. You'll be doing yourself a favor and your country an important service. For used fats are urgently needed for military medicines, armaments, and a host of things so necessary to win this war. Strain every drop into any tin can, no glass containers, please, and turn them in as soon as you have a pound.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 81 years to December 27th, 1943, DuPont's Cavalcade of America and the U-Boat Prisoner.
The Cavalcade of America, sponsored by DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry, presents Richard Arlen in U-Boat Prisoner.
Each week we bring you news of better things for better living through chemistry. And often chemistry holds the gift of life itself. For instance, in X-ray film screens, where chemistry converts invisible X-rays into visible images, enabling doctors to locate bullets or shrapnel in the body in a matter of seconds. X-ray screens and film are but 2 examples of how science and industry work together to save lives and bring better health to all.
Tonight with Richard Arlen as Archie Gibbs, ordinary seaman, DuPont presents U-Boat Prisoner. The thrilling story of a merchant seaman rescued by the very submarine which had torpedoed his ship and killed his shipmates. Our play tonight was especially written for Cavalcade by Arthur Arendt and is based on the true story in Archie Gibbs' own book, U-Boat Prisoner, and stars Richard Arlen on the Cavalcade of America.
This is the story of a man who was torpedoed twice on the same voyage. When his first ship was blown apart, he drifted on a raft in the Caribbean until they hauled him aboard another merchantman. 2 hours later, it started all over again. First, there was just the sound of the men asleep in the forecastle and the careful throbbing of the ship's engines. Then the sudden bellow of the second officer on the bridge.
Mark the time, men! We're going to get hit! 9 o'clock sharp, sir! 9 o'clock!
And then, like the crack of Judgment Day, the torpedo. Another one, just to make sure. And then, the ship breaking in half and men spilling over into the sea. Yes, this is the story of a man who was torpedoed twice in one day. But that's not why we're telling it. Lots of seamen get it twice before they make port. But how many of them ever get picked up by a German submarine and spend the next 4 days as a prisoner on a U-boat?
My name is Archie Gibbs. That's right, Archie. Kind of a fancy handle for a guy that grew up in an orphan asylum and learned what the world looks like from the deck of a cargo ship. Of course, I've done other things, too. Farmhand, dishwasher, railroad worker, pearl diver, and a couple of other odds and ends and et ceteras. But the most fun I ever had out of life, and the most useful I've been to the human race and to my country, was by way of taking a ship loaded with ammunition from one place to another, with a lot of ocean in between.
The story begins at the National Maritime Union Hall in New York City.
That's right. It was December, which is kind of a nice time of the year to be on dry land. Well, we were sitting around in the hiring hall, a bunch of us guys, playing checkers and fighting the war with conversation.
I tell you, this convoy setup is the bunk. 1 out of 3, that's what we lose, and enough Navy protecting us.
Your move, Joe.
You ever make the run to Murmansk?
In a pig's eye, did.
Boy, them Stukas.
Yeah, I hear you're good for 20 minutes if you get it up there. 1 minute more in that water and you're stiff as a mackerel.
All right,
freezing up
attention,
north.
Please, attention. 1 AB and 1 ordinary wanted. Cargo ship going on a long voyage. 1 able-bodied and 1 ordinary seaman. Throw in your cards if you want it.
1 AB, that's for me.
Here you are, I'll take it.
Here's my card.
All right, hold everything, boys, while I look over your dates. December 2nd, November 19th, November 28th, November 12th. November 12th for the ordinary. Who can beat November 12th?
I can, Mike.
Let me see your card.
This little pasteboard says I got back off my last trip November the 2nd. That gives me top priority.
November 2nd's right. That does it. The job goes to Archie Gibbs.
He told me the name of the scow and when she was sailing. I can't tell him to you, but she wasn't new and she wasn't fast. Not that that bothered me. Somebody's got to sail the slow ones, and up to then I've been pretty lucky. That's me knocking on wood. Anyhow, I had worked up a good, healthy case of hate against them Nazis, and it made me feel good. Yeah, hate your enemy, that's my motto. That way you get things done that gotta be done. Well, it was a few days later, when we were out in the Caribbean, part of a big convoy, that things began to happen.
Oh, boy, this is a life.
Hey, we just sighted another empty raft and some wreckage. She must have been hit so hard the refrigerator busted open. There was potatoes and oranges and quarters of beef all floating by. You could almost got your hand and grab one.
Why didn't you, Ace?
Because there was other things, too. Bodies. 3 of them face down in the water. That's why I didn't stick out my hand, Archie.
I got a feeling we're going to get it tonight.
Shut up, Irish.
I got a feeling we're going to catch ourselves a nice big tin fish.
Shut up, he said. Anyhow, we're too near Trinidad.
Yeah. So is the one that got it when the bodies were on. Only they weren't bodies then. They were alive, walking and talking like we are now.
Will you shut up?
We're going to get it today, Archie. I got a feeling about these things.
You want to bet, Irish? Would you care to risk a couple of bucks?
I'm leaving And I'm laying even money we get it in 24 hours. Only it ain't a risk. Not the way you guys think, anyhow. Only risk is whether I'll be to collect.
Exactly 3 hours and 20 minutes later, I was in the Caribbean Sea, looking around for something to hang on to. And out of nowhere, there'd been a crash like something you never heard in your life. And a blinding flash of light, and the ship shaking like a big hand got hold of it and squeezed it. The next thing you knew, there were heads bobbing around the water, yours and others. What happened to Irish? Well, that torpedo exploded in the engine room. Irish was in there at the time making a little bet with the chief engineer. I was picked up by another ship in the convoy, and they gave me some dry clothes, and I went below. It seemed like I just shut my eyes when the whole crazy merry-go-round started all over again. First off, it was quiet there in the forecastle. All you could hear was the sound of men breathing in their sleep, and the careful, quiet throbbing of the ship's engines. And then the sudden hollering of the second officer on the bridge.
Mark the time, men! The ship's getting hit! 9 o'clock sharp, sir! 9 o'clock!
And then, like the crack of Judgment Day, the torpedo. And one more, just to make sure. And pretty soon I was back in the Caribbean again. For somewheres, I don't know where I had picked it up, but it was a flashlight. I turned it on, and here and there I saw heads bobbing around the water again. Then I saw something else. It was a shadow. Came up under my feet like one of them platform elevators that come up out of a sidewalk. And before I knew what hit me, I was rolling around on the foredeck of a German submarine.
Well, all right. Come along, get up. And hold on to the rail or you'll be washed overboard.
Okay.
There, now. You know what this is?
Yeah, it's a revolver. Looks like a .38.
Good. And you will answer my questions. You are a Navy man, no?
No.
It's not healthy to lie when I ask questions.
I'm not lying. There was an ordinary seaman on that tub you sank last night.
Last night, eh? You're sorry you told me that. What was the name of the ship I just sank?
I wasn't aboard long enough to find out.
What was the name of your own ship? Answer me.
North Harrow.
Good. Where was she from?
New York.
And where was she going?
I don't know. The Navy Department never confided in me.
What kind of cargo? I said, what kind of cargo?
Empty drums.
What do you say? Empty drums do not explode? Was she a warship or a merchantman?
Merchantman. And a pretty old one at that.
You lie.
I never seen such an old scow. Couldn't figure out what kept her afloat.
Schweinhund. You go down now. There's a man there who wishes to speak with you.
Now, I don't want you going off on any wrong tack about me. I'm no hero, see? Even if the previous conversation sounded kind of fancy for a guy who was a prisoner on a U-boat. The truth is, I expected to be shot. So what did I have to lose? If I told them what they wanted to know, what would it get me? Nothing but a funny feeling when St. Peter inquired if I was a good guy and what did I ever do for my country. I was thinking about these things and making up my mind how I'd act as we climbed down the control room ladder. Down below, the second in command, a big, tall, blond guy, looked me over. When he talked, it was with what they call an Oxford accent.
Come over here, you. Where are your papers?
My safety bag? You got them there in your hand.
Sir?
Sir.
It's very good, this bag.
Yeah, sir.
Who makes it?
A Norwegian. His name is Count Warner.
Uh-huh.
He's one of the guys you didn't get when you went in there, sir.
Thank you.
He also invented a life-saving suit. On account of it, a whole lot of American seamen are alive today.
That is enough.
I just thought you'd like to know, sir.
You're very intelligent for a sailor. Later on, we will see just how intelligent you are with political officers.
After the second officer left, I had a look around. I figured this U-boat must have been at sea for quite a while. The torpedo cradles along the bulkhead were empty and the floor plates were bare. Up forward, there were 4 torpedo tubes. They were locked, and I couldn't tell whether they were loaded or not. I sat down on one of the bunks. 4 sailors stopped playing cards and stared at me like I was something special. Nobody said a word. I guess maybe I was getting a little nervous waiting. I was just looking around for something to grab if they started getting rough when one of them finally broke the ice. He said,
San Francisco is very beautiful. I like very much San Francisco.
I'm glad to hear it, mister. I got kind of a soft spot for San Francisco myself.
Charleston, South Carolina is very beautiful. I like very much Charleston, South Carolina.
Sorry, mister, I never been there.
I go to Valparaiso, to San Francisco, Yokohama, 17 trips. San Francisco is very beautiful, nice people. Yokohama is no good.
That's swell. Then when we get through with it, it won't be much of a loss.
Japan's no good people. America win from Japan quickly. But I'd like to see America fight Germany. Maybe you tell me, why America fight Germany?
Right. On account of a guy named Hitler, your boss. Also, if I remember correctly, you declared war on us December the 8th, right after Pearl Harbor.
Das ist nicht wahr, no. The German newspapers say America declare war first on the Germans.
Can you top that? These guys really believed what they read in their newspapers. Well, I tried to convince them, but it wasn't any use. They just smiled like maybe I was a little bug house, and then one of them brought over a book. Acting kind of pleased and proud, he turned the pages over so I could see the picture.
Very interesting, very pretty pictures, no?
Yeah, only I saw them before.
Oh, you have seen these pictures?
Sure, in a movie about your guys in Poland. It was called Victory in the East.
Yeah, Siegi Mosten.
Yeah, that's it.
They show this in America?
Certainly they showed it in America. You can also get a copy of Mein Kampf in any bookstore.
Oh, you make a joke, no?
No, in America you can read anything and say anything you like. We figure it's a good idea to listen to what the other guy's got to say so we'll know how wrong he is. That's democracy.
You had better not speak like this. Then you'll see him.
Him? Who?
Lieutenant Zimmer. He is a political officer. He will ask you questions. It is best for you that you speak, how do you say, soft to Lieutenant Zimmer. Hey, Carl?
Yeah, soft. Very soft.
You are listening to Richard Arlen on the Cavalcade of America in U-Boat Prisoner, an exciting story of heroism at sea presented by DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. Richard Arlen plays the role of Archie Gibbs, American merchant seaman who was torpedoed, rescued, torpedoed again, and picked up by a German submarine. In the course of a conversation with the German sailors, Gibbs has learned of the existence of a mysterious political officer on board, who, as our play continues, is shortly to question Gibbs.
Well, a couple of days went by, and pretty soon I lost track of time. I was treated fairly well by the men, and just the same I was worried. It was this Lieutenant Zimmer guy, the political officer. You see, by this time I wasn't so sure that they were going to shoot me. What I mean is I had hopes, and this Zimmer not sending for me or anything worried me. What was he waiting for? What did he want to know? Suppose he offered to set me free and give me a raft and some grub if I answered some questions. Questions like, what was the naval installation at Trinidad, and things like that. What should I do? Tell him to go jump in the lake, or play along and try to bluff it? And if I did, could I get away with it? Well, it got more and more complicated in my head until I finally decided to quit worrying and sort of smell things out as I went along. Then one afternoon, something happened. I was asleep. And all of a sudden, I heard a familiar noise. It was dark in the wardroom, but I finally made out somebody standing near the wireless. It was one of the sailors, the big guy called Carl. He looked around quick, like he was being very careful about something. Then he twisted the dial.
Nein, Karl, nein, that is not the one.
Tune it some more, Carl. Tune it some more.
What were they looking for? Maybe a secret sailing station in South America. Maybe instructions about refueling or attacking a new convoy. Maybe I was going to be the only American that ever listened to a secret message coming in from the high command all the way over there in Berlin. I got so choked up I stopped breathing. And suddenly Carl whispered,
Yeah, I have it. It is coming in now.
And then as he turned up the volume, I heard it. You could have knocked me over with a pincushion.
Ja, gut. Schön, huh? In the heart of Texas. Sing, Americano, sing. In the heart of Texas.
You may turn off the wireless.
Jawohl, Herr Leutnant.
As punishment, you will report for extra duty.
Jawohl, Herr Leutnant.
You will come with me.
Okay, sir.
I will now leave you to the friendly ministrations of our political officer, Herr Lieutenant Zimmer.
Hi, Littler.
Hello?
Sit down.
Thanks.
Do you speak German?
No.
Gibbs is a German name.
Not since William the Conqueror, it ain't. My parents and grandparents were born in America. And one of my grandfathers was an American Indian.
A savage. How interesting. Did your ship come through the Yucatan Straits?
I can't tell. I'm not a navigator.
Answer.
Okay. Before Pearl Harbor, we used the Straits because we didn't want any trouble with you Nazis. Now we don't use them, and we're looking for it.
These photographs I found in your bag. They're your children?
They're my sister's kids.
Very healthy looking.
I'm pleased to hear it.
In Germany, we are not so healthy. You are pleased to hear that, too? Answer.
I haven't thought about it.
Perhaps one day the shoe will be on the other foot,
Maybe.
This is your club card?
My union card.
Tell me, can your club force you to go back to sea to, sign on again if you do not wish? I ask only out of curiosity.
It ain't a club, it's a union. A trade union.
I ask again, your club will not make you go back to sea?
My union... Okay. My club cannot force me to do anything I do not wish. In America, I do not have to do anything I do not wish. The United States government does not make men go to sea if they do not wish.
Son, it is better that you do not go to sea again.
Does that mean you're going to let me go?
Yes. On one condition.
Oh?
You wish to hear this condition?
Sure. What have I got to lose?
That is very sensible. How many American destroyers at Trinidad?
How do I know?
You have been there?
Yeah, but I never counted them.
Make an estimate.
Okay, 200.
200? We will go on to the question of bombing planes. How many?
How many bombers at Trinidad? 2-motor or 4-motor?
I am being very patient, Mr. Gibbs.
What was that?
Depth charges. One of your destroyers, no doubt. One of the 200. Now, Mr. Gibbs, about those bombing planes. How many?
Kinda close, wasn't it?
You know what this is?
Say, will you tell me something? Why do all you Nazis stick a gun under a guy's nose and ask if he knows what it is? Of course I know what it is. It's a gun.
It would be wise to answer my questions.
Look, Lieutenant, ain't you being kind of silly? How would I know how many bombers? Hey, that was real close.
For the last time, Mr. Gibbs, how many bombing planes are based on Trinidad?
And for the last time, I'm telling you I don't know. All I know is there's at least one of them, because that thing you think is a destroyer is a bomber, and the next egg it lays is going to be right on our head. And that's exactly where it was, right on our heads. I was blown to the surface with a couple of other guys. An American cadet picked me up and landed me in a certain place in South America. What happened to Herr Lieutenant Zimmer and the rest of the baby killers, I never found out. And I ain't particularly worried. When I finally got back to New York, they gave me a medal and they took my picture and made a little speech over the radio. In it, I mentioned how it felt to be torpedoed and what it was like inside of a German submarine. I also mentioned how important it was for our soldiers to receive the stuff our ships carried to them, and that every nickel invested in war bonds would build a ship or a gun or a plane that maybe one day would kill a Jap or sink a U-boat like the one I was on, which is a very good idea indeed.
Very good idea indeed. But there's just one little incident that Archie Gibbs neglected to mention. It took place just a few weeks after he landed in New York from his adventure with that U-boat. The scene is again the Seamen's Hiring Hall in New York City.
Attention, please, attention. One ordinary wanted, cargo ship going on a long voyage. One ordinary. Throw in your cards if you want it.
Okay, here it is.
I'll take it. Okay, now hold everything, boys, while I look over your dates.
Okay, hold it.
April 12th, May 2nd, April 24th, April 9th, April 9th. Who can beat April 9th?
I can, Mike. Read it and weep.
That does it. April 7th. The job goes to Archie Gibbs.
Thank you, Richard Arlen. In reenacting U-Boat Prisoner, DuPont is proud to join all Americans in saluting the gallant men who sail the seven seas, delivering the materials of war to our armed forces. Mr. Arlen will return to the microphone in a few minutes. Meanwhile, here is Clayton Collier with a story from DuPont.
A technical problem that has bothered mankind for all the years of recorded history, and probably bothered our caveman ancestors before that, is how to make things stick to other things. From the Egyptians down to the present day, people have tried just about everything from egg whites to fish glue as cement and glue. Modern chemical research now provides adhesives of entirely new compositions, and they are accomplishing important wartime jobs. Polyvinyl resins, for instance. Polyvinyl resins are chemical derivatives of acetylene, the same gas that used to light old-time bicycle and automobile lamps. These resins provide a whole new series of adhesives. One bonds wood to metal so tightly that the wood actually splits and tears apart before the adhesive gives way. Other polyvinyls replace natural latex in rubber cement. There are polyvinyl adhesives for metal, leather, wood, cork, ceramics, and paper. Another resin adhesive manufactured by DuPont, a white powder soluble in water, has no odor, cannot harm foodstuffs, does not corrode metal, and for all practical purposes is weatherproof. Right now it is used in making paperboard and fiberboard containers for the armed forces. Boxes made with it have to pass a test. They must stand being anchored in the surf for 24 hours. That gives you some idea of the rough treatment these new adhesives will take. DuPont manufactures still other adhesives of an entirely different type, synthetic elastic compositions. Some of these can be vulcanized like rubber. Some vulcanize themselves slowly with ordinary exposure. One of these is Fairprene cement, which is especially designed to resist oils and greases. Another protects against corrosion. Each cement has its own special properties. Last but by no means least, the little tube of Duco cement that has been a familiar friend and helper in your home for years now serves in the wartime manufacture of radio and telephone coils, signal lights, and electrical fuses, among other things. Duco cement is still available to you. And when the war is won, all of these adhesives, which are now giving splendid wartime service, will serve industry and you as DuPont better things for better living through chemistry.
And now here is Richard Arlen, star of tonight's Cavalcade.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Archie Gibbs of the Merchant Marine, the hero of tonight's play, was not a character of fiction, but a real man. In the fullest meaning of the word, the men of the Merchant Marine are real men, often serving their country under conditions of danger and hardship not exceeded in any branch of the armed forces. America is proud of the valiant men who go down to the sea in ships, the men of the Merchant Marine.
With Alfred Drake, star of Broadway's greatest hit, Oklahoma, and Jackie Kelk, popular young radio star, Cavalcade next week presents Bullseye for Sammy, an exciting story of our Navy's submarine chaser service. The story of PC-627, the little boat that fired the first shot in the invasion of Sicily on July 10th. Again next Monday, DuPont invites you to join the Cavalcade audience when we will present Alfred Drake and Jackie Kelk in an exciting drama of a little-known branch of the Navy, the submarine chasers, that played such a vital role in the invasion of Sicily 6 months ago. The orchestra and musical score tonight were under the direction of Donald Voorhees. Cavalcade is pleased to remind its listeners that Richard Arlen's next picture is the Paramount production, Minesweeper. This is Carl Frank sending best wishes from Cavalcade sponsor, the DuPont Company of Wilmington, Delaware. This program came to you from New York. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
From 81 years ago, December 27th, 1943, the Cavalcade of America. And yes, the commercial spokesperson, Clayton Collier, you knew him as Bud Collier, who was also starring in the time in the children's serial Superman. So there you go. Alrighty, we'll roll on with more classic radio theater now with an episode of Philo Vance starring Jackson Beck in just a moment.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Millions in Europe and Asia are going hungry and facing actual starvation. Therefore, it's up to us, the best-fed nation in the world, to tighten our belts. We can share a meal and save a life. And here's how. Buy only as much bread and other wheat products as you really need. Use rice, fats, and oils sparingly. Don't waste any food. Turn in your used fats and oils at the food store promptly. Plant a garden and raise as much of your family's food as you can. You are saving food for those who desperately need it when you buy less, especially when you use up those leftovers.
We continue now on Classic Radio Theater with The Adventures of Philo Vance, starring Jackson Beck as Philo. This episode goes back, 75 years, December 27th, 1949, and it is the identical murder case.
District Attorney Markham speaking.
Oh, is that so?
Hello, dear. Sorry, force of habit on the phone. Besides, how was I to know it was my wife?
You mean you couldn't tell by my ring? I'm surprised at you.
Well, it's about time somebody was surprised at me and not at Philo Vance, as people usually are. It's been giving me an inferiority complex. Thank you for nipping it, darling. Now, what do you want?
Nothing. Just thought perhaps you were working so hard you'd lost track of the time. It's 11:30.
It is? Wow, I did lose track of it all right. I had so many things to clear up down here at my office that I...
What's the trouble?
Someone's at the door, I think. I'll call you back, Edith.
All right. But don't work too hard, please. Goodbye.
Bye, dear. I'm coming. Hey, what...
Thank goodness I found you in.
Easy now.
Help me.
Hey, you're hurt pretty bad. Put your arm around my shoulder. That's it. Now, let's get over to this chair. There. Now, who are you and what happened to you?
I've been shot.
I'd better call a hospital. You wait right here while I get to the phone.
Don't bother, Markham. I'll never live till the ambulance gets here.
Hold your head up while... No, it can't be.
My face surprised you, didn't it?
I should say it did. You're the image of Philo Vance.
I know. That's why they killed me.
I couldn't help it, Tommy. Stop hitting me. If I ever get away from these two lugs holding me, you wouldn't slap me around that way.
I gotta teach you that I won't tolerate mistakes, Joe. No mistakes. The one thing I won't tolerate is mistakes.
How could I tell? The guy You showed me a picture of Philo Vance. I shot a guy I thought was Vance. He was the image of Vance, I tell you. Anybody would have thought it was Vance.
Let him go, boys. Joe, wait for me in the next room.
Sure. Sure, boss.
Mike, you better go with him to make sure he stays put and see that he stays there. Letting him go would be a mistake, and I won't tolerate mistakes.
Okay, Mr. Orchid. Come on, you.
Eddie, you stay with me.
Don't worry about Joey, boss. He'll be with me when you want him.
I'm quite certain he will be. Eddie. Perhaps it was my mistake that let me send Joe to kill Philo Vance. I won't tolerate mistakes even if I make them. Certainly can't afford a second one. Vance must be killed, otherwise he'll prove it was I who did the Hendricks job. Any suggestions on how we're to do it? I'll figure it out myself then. This time I'll plan it very carefully. And just to make sure, I'll let you help me do the job. How about that, Eddie? Like that? Good. Now, while I figure out how this is going to be done, you go out and get me an orchid to bring to my girl Penny. I've got to remember about Vance, but I don't want to forget about her.
Yes, operator, this is District Attorney Markham, and I'll hold the phone.
Hello, Markham.
Oh, Vance, where are you? I've been trying all day to reach you.
I'm in a little town about 300 miles from the city, Markham. And I think I've got good news.
Yes?
I've found a young fellow who admits being with Tommy Orchid when Orchid killed that man Hendricks last week.
Well, that's fine, but it's not important, Vance.
It isn't?
Not in view of what's happened here. Vance, a man was killed last night for one reason, and one only. Because he looked like you.
What?
Sorry, Vance. That new secretary of mine put flowers on my desk this morning.
She'll learn about you and your allergy to flowers. But what about this man who was killed because he looked like me?
You hurry back and I'll tell you the whole story. It's very apparent that somebody thought he was getting you out of the way.
Yes, it is. And there's only one reason for getting me out of the way. That's because I was getting in the way.
Like the orchid, Penny?
It's beautiful, Tommy, but you don't have to bring me one every day.
Who says I don't? I'm Tommy Orchid, ain't I? I always bring my girl an orchid every day.
Believe me, that isn't the fascination you have for me. I could do without orchids.
But not without me, huh? But you're not making any mistake, Penny. I don't tolerate mistakes. They're bad for business.
Let's forget business for a while, can't we?
Yeah, sure, right after we get a little matter out of the way. Ever hear of a man named Philo Vance?
Yes, definitely.
Think you can handle an assignment that concerns him?
Maybe.
You better be sure. I don't tolerate any mistakes, Penny. Not even from you.
Come in.
Vance, where are you?
I'm in my private office. Come in here, whoever you are.
Don't worry, I'm coming. Hello, Vance. I'm Tommy Orchid.
Oh? Sit down.
I'll do this standing up. Vance, lay off me.
How do you mean?
My boys find you grabbed some kid who used to work for me in a town called Sunderville, about 200 or 300 miles from here. And that he talked about the Hendricks killing.
Your boys have pretty good information.
They don't make mistakes. I don't tolerate mistakes.
I think you made one by coming to my office. What do you want?
I just want to tell you what you know, and that's nothing. All you have is some punk kid saying I killed Hendricks. Just his word against mine, and me with a solid alibi, just in case.
I don't doubt your alibi or your reason for coming to see me. You're not threatening me by any chance?
Me? That would be a mistake, Vance, and I don't make mistakes. I could point out to you that a fellow who looked like you was killed yesterday. But that wouldn't mean anything to you, would it?
Nothing, except that the man was killed by mistake by one of your gunmen. And that's a mistake I don't like, and I'm going to do something about right now.
That's pretty tough talk, Vance. You probably know about me. I don't carry a gun, so you think you can say anything you like.
I carry one. Here it is. But it's going over there in the corner now. Now
Now, look, Orchid, you had an innocent man killed yesterday.
That's your opinion. Can you prove it?
I don't need any proof of what's going to happen now. I'm not the law. I don't have to handle you with gloves.
I don't think you can handle me at all, and this'll prove it.
You're down where you belong now, Orchid. Oh, no, you don't. You don't go crawling with that gun of mine. I'll get it first. Now, get up.
All right, Vance. I'm glad you didn't let me get to that gun. If you had, I'd have used it on you. And that would have been a mistake, and...
I know you don't tolerate mistakes. You made one when you came to see me, though.
Did I? I doubt it. Maybe I had a reason. But listen, and this is no maybe. You've got nothing on me, and you're never going to get anything on me that'll hold up in court, no matter how you try or what you do. I'm too smart for that. Remember what I said, Vance. I'm too smart for that, and you.
Hello.
Is this Philo Vance?
Yes?
My name's Penny Daly. Vance, what would you give to get the real dope on Tommy Orchid?
What are you getting for giving it to me?
I'm Tommy's girl, and he wants me to do something that concerns you. Only I'm afraid.
Of what?
It doesn't work out the way he wants, and it won't from what I've heard of you. He'll kill me, I know he will.
Where are you now?
In my apartment, 50 Lincoln Boulevard.
Stay where you are. I'll be right up, and we can get down to facts.
Eddie, don't it make no difference to you what the boss tells us to do? But Joey was our pal. He wanted jobs with us. And Tommy Orchid says to knock him off just 'cause he made one little mistake. And we do it.
We do it or we get it?
Yeah, I guess that's right. I don't never want to cross Tommy Orchid. That can't be no good. Hey, Eddie. Suppose one of us made a mistake. One of us. And Tommy says you and me's got to get knocked off. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you.
No?
No, why should I? You're my pal. Hey, look, Eddie. If Tommy ever says for you to give it to me, you wouldn't do it, would you? Well, you don't have to think about it, do you? What's there to think about? You wouldn't knock me off for no reason just 'cause the boss says so, would you?
No? I'd knock you off in a minute, Mike, for no other reason than to keep in practice. Just remember that.
Just a minute. Who's there?
Miss Daly, I'm Philo Vance.
Wait a second. Come in, Vance, quickly.
Now, there's no need to be nervous, Miss Daly. If you'll tell me what I think you can tell me, we'll have Tommy Orchid in jail before the day is over.
Good. What is it you want to know?
First of all, why you've decided to talk.
Because I have a strange desire to keep on living. Look, Vance, what I know about Tommy, I never wanted to know. The jobs he's pulled, his gang, all of that, I never wanted to know it, but I do.
I see your point. And as long as you do, you're a constant threat to the safety of Mr. Orchid.
That's right. Now he wants me to get you out of the way. That's an assignment, and I don't want any part of it. Only I don't know what to do.
You did exactly what you should have done. You called me. Now, I'll tell you what I want.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
A man named Hendricks was killed a week ago. I know Tommy Orchid did that job. I found one of the boys who worked for him in a little town, and he told me after I coaxed him. But that's not proof.
Well?
Tommy has an alibi for the time Hendricks was killed. I want you to get proof that that alibi is a phony. Can you do it?
I think so. If I could find out what alibi he's using.
You can do that, too. Very easily, unless I underrate your charms. Or unless Tommy Orchid does.
I'll have the information for you. Then what do I do?
Wait here. District Attorney Markham and I will be up at 11 tomorrow. Is that all right? Can you be here?
Fine. I'll walk you to the door.
Thank you. Keep away from Tommy Orchid, and don't forget about 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Don't worry. I'll keep away from him. Goodbye, Mr. Vance. And thanks.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay to come out now, Tommy?
Good work, Penny. Very good work.
What else did you expect, Tommy?
Nothing else. You were very convincing. In fact, you almost convinced me. Hiding in another room is kind of tough when the conversation between two people can mean the chair for a guy.
I didn't make any mistake, did I?
No, I'm glad you didn't. You know why.
Okay, then. What happens now?
Now we'll wait until tomorrow morning. Vance and the DA will be here, and you tell Vance where he can find all the evidence he needs to grab me.
Where will that be?
I trust you, baby, but not that much. Wherever it is, it's the place where Vance won't get any evidence, but where Eddie and I will get him.
This is District Attorney Markham. The murder case we're working on is a week old, and Vance has all the information he wants to pin it on Tommy Orchid, but he still lacks evidence. He is enlisted as an ally Penny Daly, former sweetheart of Tommy's, immediately after an innocent man was killed merely because he looked like Vance. Certain that this is the break we've been waiting for in trying to get Orchid, Vance and I have gone to call on Miss Daly at her apartment. It is 11 o'clock.
You have all the information we want, Miss Daly?
Practically all, Mr. Vance.
Excuse me. Miss Daly, we'll want to put you in police custody for a while. You won't mind that?
Mind it? I'd love it. Only you can't do it until this afternoon, Mr. Markham.
Why not?
Because I haven't the one thing I need most. The name of the man alibying for Tommy. I know he lives in the suburbs someplace, but I won't know where till this afternoon. I have to get all my information from Tommy's boys. You said to stay away from Tommy, and I haven't seen him in 2 days.
That's all right. We can phone you then. Right, Vance?
Yes. Let's go, Markham. I'll phone you later, Miss Daly.
Do that. And thank you both for your trouble.
That's quite all right. Goodbye, Miss Daly.
Goodbye.
Well, Vance?
Well, it seems that we've finally caught up with Tommy Orchid, Markham.
Yes, it does. And I'm very happy about the whole thing.
I'm not.
What?
Markham, a man as smart as Tommy Orchid must be caught in the act of killing somebody if you're going to be sure you get a conviction. I'm going to make sure we catch him doing just that.
Oh, really? Who is he going to be killing?
Who? Me, of course.
You did a good job, Penny. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Tommy. I was pretty convincing. Vance trusts me completely.
What a sap. He's supposed to be smart. We'll take care of him, huh, Eddie? Uh-huh.
What makes him so talkative? Tommy, Vance ought to be phoning soon. What do I do then?
Now, Penny, you didn't make any mistakes when you talked to Vance and Markham, did you?
Tommy.
Okay. Just asking, that's all. I want to make sure. I won't tolerate mistakes, you understand that?
Anybody works for you understands that, Tommy.
I hope so. Oh, get that, Penny. And, for being a good girl, I'll bring you 2 orchids every day.
Be quiet now, both of you. Now, I just give Vance that address and tell him what you told me, Tommy, that's all?
That's right, but make it convincing.
Leave it to me. Hello?
This is Philo Vance. Is everything all right?
Yes. Vance, listen. Tommy Orchid's worrying about his alibi. That fellow I told you about.
Go on.
The man's name is Rogers. He has a cabin out by Lake Laura. Tommy's going out to see him tonight.
Good. Now, you do this. Tell him that I phoned you and said I was going out there earlier.
Uh-huh.
Tell him I found out about Rogers somehow, and see that Tommy goes out there after me.
I think that will be easy.
Good. Now, here's something that will be a little more difficult. Tommy will come after me, I'm sure. After he's sure I'm there alone, which I will be. He'll have a gun. But you see that there are no bullets in that gun. Can you do it?
Say yes, Penny.
Why, yes, I can do it. Don't worry, Vance. Everything will be the way you want it.
In that case, Miss Daly, I'm quite certain everything will be the way you want it, too.
What are we doing in this shop, Vance?
Making a few purchases I'll need tonight, Markham, that's all.
I wish you'd let me go with you out to that Rogers cabin.
No good, Markham. I won't need you, and if you or the police are anywhere near, Tommy Orchid won't show up. I can handle this all right, I'm sure.
I certainly hope so.
Yes, sirs. What can I do for you, please?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't the slightest idea. Vance?
I'd like a piece of tarpaulin about 10 yards square. Black, if you have it.
Now, we have it, sir.
Good. How long will it take you to put a wooden border on it?
And you want wood on all 4 sides?
On 2 sides. Give me the other 2 pieces of wood. I'll put them on myself when I get to the place I'm taking the tarpaulin.
I can have it for you, sir, in about, half an hour. Anything else?
Yes, I want a pulley and about 25 yards of rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it painted black.
But painted black?
Don't look at me. I don't understand why either.
Painted black, if you please. Can you have that in a half hour, too?
Well, sure, I guess so. That'd be all?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Vance, why do you want the stuff you just ordered?
Don't you know?
Don't I? How could anybody know?
Well, if you can't figure it out, Markham, then neither can anyone else. And that includes our friend Tommy Orchid, who has a surprise waiting for him.
Oh, hi, Eddie. Come on in. Sit down.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's the matter, Eddie? Hey, Tommy tell you to come see me?
Uh-huh.
Well, what for?
He gave me a message for you.
For me? Hey, wait a minute, Eddie. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't make no mistakes.
Tommy says you did.
What did I do?
Something about Joey's body. They found it.
I didn't do nothing with it, Eddie. I just dug a hole for it out in the country like I was told to do.
They found it, and they knew it was Joey.
I just couldn't leave him laying there, Eddie. I had to do something else. I got a rock, a piece of board. I put it over his head after I buried the body, that's all.
You put his name on the board?
Well, sure. He was a pal, wasn't he? Bad enough we killed him. You want we should have left him laying there without nobody knowing about who he was? Okay, then. I didn't do nothing wrong, did I, Eddie?
Not according to me. But according to the boss, you made a mistake, and...
Eddie, don't!
And the boss don't tolerate mistakes.
Eddie, you did a very fine job on our ex-ally, Mike.
Thanks, boss.
I hope I can do as well on the assignment I've given myself. The removal of Philo Vance.
That's where we're headed for right now, huh?
Yeah. We're going to the old Rogers cabin where Mr. Vance is waiting for me. Only, he thinks I'll arrive alone and with my gun unloaded.
You planned this good, Mr. Orchid.
It was well planned, Eddie. Very well planned. I don't tolerate mistakes, and I definitely won't make them myself.
What happens if this Philo Vance ain't right there waiting for us like a sitting duck?
Eddie, listen. As far as he knows, my girlfriend Penny's working with him. She put on a good act, a great act. It would have convinced me. It certainly convinced Philo Vance that she was double-crossing me. We've got to get rid of him before he proves definitely that I killed Hendricks. This is my chance to do just that. Now, the Rogers cabin is miles from the nearest town. Nobody will hear me kill Vance. Nobody will see me remove the body. All right, step on it, Eddie. I'm in a hurry to get this over with.
Sit down, Miss Daly. Please sit down.
Look, D.A., what was the idea of having the police drag me down to your office?
To be perfectly honest with you, it was Philo Vance's idea to have you here.
Vance? Oh, well, that's different. In that case, I don't mind being here. I'm working with Vance, you know that.
Yes, Vance said you were very helpful.
Oh, well, did Vance say what he wanted me here for?
No, he said he'd tell you when he got back from the cabin of someone named Rogers.
He told you he'd tell me when he got back, eh?
Yes.
I'm liable to have a very long wait.
Okay, Eddie, just leave everything to me. We walk in the door together. I have my gun on Vance, and it'll be over in a minute.
Well, let's go. That's the cabin. What are we waiting for?
Nothing. Ready? Now. All right, Vance, stay right where you are.
Mr. Tommy Orchid and friend. Come right in, gentlemen.
Stick close to me, Eddie. Well, Vance, this is it. We're not going to waste any words before we get it over with. Stand up.
What for? I'm comfortable sitting here.
Where's the light switch, boss? It's tough seeing him good in the dark.
We see him well enough, and we hear him, don't we? Get up, Vance.
Oh, I'll get up. But it's only fair to warn you that when I do, I'm coming toward you. And you're not going to be able to stop me.
No?
No.
You see, that gun you're holding isn't loaded.
Oh, it isn't? You still think that, Vance?
No, I guess I've been misinformed.
All right, Vance, on your feet. That's good. Walk toward me, slowly.
If you say so.
Hey, Eddie, what's wrong? I don't know. We're covered with some kind of cloth. Shoot your way out to us. That won't do us any good.
No, it won't, gentlemen. And this little tap on the heads that you're going to get won't do you any good either. Well, that does it, I guess. It'll be quite a job carting you two down to headquarters, but it'll be worth it when I tell Markham how I knew I was being double-crossed by Miss Daly and how this little trap of mine was worked. Markham, you remember the tarpaulin and black rope I bought in that store?
Yes, you had the rope painted black, didn't you, Vance?
That's right. Well, when I got to the Rogers cabin, I strung that tarpaulin up to the ceiling with a pulley, carried the rope down to the floor, and kept my foot on it.
Oh, I see. When Tommy Orchid and his gunmen came in and ordered you to walk toward them, naturally, your foot came off the rope and the tarpaulin came down from the ceiling and over their heads.
Exactly. I made sure the cabin was dark enough so the trick would work.
One thing I still don't know, though, Vance. You had every reason to believe that Tommy Orchid's girlfriend, Penny Daly, was double-crossing him and telling you the truth. How did you know she was lying?
You told me, Markham.
Well, I'm very glad that I told you. How?
That allergy of yours to flowers. You know how you sneeze when flowers are in a room or have been in a room within a few hours?
Yes.
Well, when you and I saw Miss Daly, she said she hadn't seen Tommy Orchid in 2 days. Yet you sneezed while you were in her room, which meant that she had had an orchid in her apartment just before we came in and had removed it.
And inasmuch as Tommy Orchid got his name because he always brought his girls an orchid every day, you surmised that she was lying, and that she had seen Tommy that day, and that the whole thing was a plan to get rid of you.
That's right. A combination of my surmisings and that tarpaulin resulted in our having a perfect attempted murder case against Tommy.
For which I thank you, of course. Well, I'm glad this is practically over. I'm sure we'll get a conviction against Orchid in the Hendricks killing and in the murder of the man who looked like you.
A fatal resemblance, Markham. Put him right in the middle of this situation.
Yes, but it was because of him, Vance, that we reached the end of the identical murder case.
"75 years ago, December 29th, 1949, Philo Vance here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, it will be Mr. and Mrs. Frank Lovejoy, starring in the 32nd of December, an episode of Suspense from 1958. The Hall of Fantasy and the Black Figurine of Death from 1953. An episode of Gangbusters from 1955, The Torture Trio. The Adventures of Red Ryder from 78 years ago, Treacherous is the Wolf, and an episode of Claudia. And, of course, anytime, classicradio.stream for more information or to support the show. Right now, Jimmy Stewart as the six-shooter.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Whenever you drive the car, there is always an unseen, unwelcome passenger with you. That passenger is danger. The danger of a traffic accident. Unfortunately, every person seems to have the absurd notion that he bears a charmed life, that no traffic accident can happen to him. But it can, and too often it does. So when you're behind that wheel, don't take chances. Obey all traffic rules. Drive safely for life, your life, and the lives of us.
Classic Radio Theater continues now with an episode of The Six Shooter, starring Jimmy Stewart, 71 years ago, December 27th, 1953, the story of Cora Plummer Quinn.
In a moment, you'll hear James Stewart as the Six Shooter, just one of the many fine programs brought to you Sundays on NBC. Later this evening, listen to the NBC Star Playhouse with one of your favorite stars. Hear Stroke of Fate. Happened if fate had reversed historical facts. And be sure to keep tuned for the dramatic story of Last Man Out. It's a wonderful lineup of great programs, all of them heard only on NBC. James Stewart as the Six Shooter. The man in the saddle is angular and long-legged. His skin is sun-dyed brown. The gun in his holster is gray steel and rainbow mother of pearl. His handle unmarked. People call them both the Six Shooter. The NBC Radio Network presents James Stewart as the Six Shooter, a transcribed series of radio dramas based on the life of Britt Ponsett, the Texas plainsman who wandered through the Western Territories, leaving behind a trail of still remembered legends.
The rain sure was coming down that afternoon in Petersville. It had started all of a sudden, too, just after I left Scar at the livery stable and headed up the main street toward Doc Early's office. All right, real cloudburst. The wind was from the north and strong enough so that the water was beating against the building slantwise. And the way the wheel ruts in the street were turning into puddles. The rain barrels were sloshing over the sides. Well, it was like the whole town had been pushed under a leaky sieve. The closest cover I could spot was the front porch of the Jackson Hotel. That's better. For a minute I sort of shook myself off like a half-drowned pup. Then I noticed the young fellow standing beside me. I didn't recognize him, though, not at first.
Mr. Ponsett?
You're
Britt Ponsett, ain't you?
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't sure till I saw your gun. I guess you don't remember me, Mr. Ponsett. Calvin Plummer?
Calvin Plummer? Oh, I sure remember you, Cal. Say, you really sprung up, haven't you? Why, by George, you're taller than I am. How'd you manage to do so much growing so fast?
I wasn't so fast, Mr. Ponsett. It's been 6 years since you were in Petersville.
6 years? Is that long?
Right after my 15th birthday, that's when you left.
6 years since I was here, huh? Let's see, that must make you right about 21 years old, huh?
Yes, sir.
21. Yeah, that's a man's age.
It's supposed to be. Too bad everybody doesn't realize it.
Well, sometimes it takes a while for people to get used to the fact that you've grown up.
I guess so.
How are your folks? Your Ma and Pa, how are they?
Didn't you know, Mr. Ponset? Pa died last summer.
Well, no, I hadn't heard that. I'm sorry, Cal. I'm awful sorry about that. He was a fine man.
Yeah. At least I thought so.
Well, everybody thought so. You know that.
Did they?
Well, what do you mean, Cal?
Nothing. Looks like it's letting up. You staying in town, Mr. Ponset?
No, just overnight. I kind of twisted my hand while I was branding a calf the other day. And swelling wouldn't go down, so I thought maybe Doc Early ought to have a look at it. If he's still practicing here, is he?
Yeah, he's still here. I expect you've been moving around quite a bit, huh, Mr. Ponset?
Oh, more than my share, I guess.
You ain't never been to a place called Elk Point, have you? Somewhere out in the New Mexico territory?
Oh, yes. I was out there in Elk Point 2 winters ago, I think it was.
What kind of setup is a Quincy ranch? Would you mind telling me?
Quincy?
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the biggest outfits in those parts.
You sure it's near Elk Point?
Well, ain't it?
I don't know. I never heard of a Quincy ranch around there.
You certain, Mr. Ponce?
Yeah. Of course, that doesn't mean that there isn't a...
Yeah, I know. Well, goodbye.
Say hello to your ma for me, Cal. She's all right, I trust.
Sure. She's fine.
I reckon your father was... Well, it must have hit her pretty hard, huh?
He had a real fast recovery.
What?
10 months ain't very long to mourn, is it? Not even a year. Just 10 months. Bye, Mr. Ponce.
Well, Cal Plummer had done a lot more than just grow up since the last time I saw him. Strange way he was carrying on. I sure couldn't figure out what caused it. And I talk about his mother, like Cora and Ned Plummer, were just about as well suited as any two people I ever met up with. But you couldn't even think about one without thinking of the other. They must have been married on close to 35 years. Cal, he was their third child. He was the only one that lived. Ned sure thought the world of him. Petersville wouldn't be the same without Ned. Rain had stopped now. It even started to warm up a little. And the mud puddles out in the street were giving off little whiffs of steam. So I went over to Doc Early's office. It was just around the corner from the hotel.
Britt, don't look like you've broke a thing. But it's a real bad sprain. It's one you was even able to ride into town today.
Yeah, well, it wasn't any too comfortable, I'll tell you that much.
What you been doing for it?
Well, it wasn't much good to, Doc, out at the ranch, you know.
Yeah, well, some hot water and Epsom salts might be a little help. I'll put the kettle on and get it warming. It was so darn chilly during all that rain, I built me a little fire in the stove. Good thing that ain't your shooting hand, Britt.
Well, I haven't needed a shooting hand much lately.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
No, things look quiet enough around Petersville.
Yeah, they're quiet all right, considering that Sheriff Jay's out of town.
Oh?
Yeah, he had some business, took him over to the New Mexico territory. He's checking up on some fella there.
Oh. Well, that's kind of a coincidence.
What do you mean?
Well, I just ran into Cal Plummer on the way up to see you, and he was asking me about New Mexico.
That wasn't no coincidence, Britt.
What?
You see, the reason the sheriff went to Roswell, well, of course, officially he's picking up a prisoner, but the reason he went himself instead of sending somebody else is so he can do a little inquiring about Cal's new pa.
New pa?
Well, sure. Cora's married again. Didn't Cal tell you?
No, he didn't.
Well, I guess maybe he was just too ashamed to mention it.
Why, that doesn't seem possible. Cora Plummer remarried.
No, we was all mighty surprised. Nobody ever figured she'd look at another man, much less take a new husband, especially so soon after. Well, it was less than a year. Oliver Quincy, that's the fellow's name.
Quincy, huh? Well, when did it happen, Doc?
Let's see, about a month ago. Maybe 5 weeks. 5 weeks and 3 days. And it's as plain as day he married her because she's got a little money. Ned left her a pretty well-fixed ranch and all in cattle.
Well, what about Cal?
Oh, Oh, he came in some money, too. Enough for a good start in life. And Cal's a hard worker. He'll get along. I feel kind of sorry for him, though. You know, he just worshipped his pa. And Cora getting hitched again, well, it was sort of like a slap in the face to him.
Yeah?
Sounds like that water's boiling. Yeah, that ought to be hot enough for you.
So what kind of a man is this Oliver Quincy? Is that his name, Oliver?
Yeah, that's his name, all right. Oh, you know the type, Britt. Big fella, white hair, mustache, always smiling. Now, where'd that come in? Oh, here we are. A real four-flusher. That's what he is. You can spot him a mile off. Dresses like a dude, uses a lot of fancy words. Move that stuff. Now, just let me... There. Now, just stick your hand in here.
Right here.
All the way, Britt, all the way. Heat's good for spring.
Holy smokes, that's hotter than a furnace, Doc.
Well, that's what draws out poison. You'll get used to it in a minute or so.
It draws out the what?
He claims to have a big ranch somewhere near Elk Point. Cora says he's worth more than she is. Well, maybe he's got her convinced, but he ain't fooling nobody else.
Gee, that's hot. It could be the truth.
If he's so well off, why are they living on Cora's property? Just answer me that, then.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Guess that water's cooling off. Maybe I ought to pour in some fresh.
No. That water's fine, Doc. That's just fine. It doesn't need to be a bit hotter. And the hand's feeling better already.
Yeah, well, you leave it in a little while longer anyhow.
Oh, it's feeling better.
I reckon even Cora will get her eyes opened up when Sheriff Jay comes back from New Mexico. He'll have the truth about Oliver Quincy. Of course, it's going to hurt her some. A woman don't like the idea of finding out she's made a fool of herself. But it'll be better for her to find it out now than later.
Well, I just don't see how this concerns the sheriff, Doc.
Man who tells a widow woman a batch of lies and finagles around so he can get control of her property, that concerns the sheriff, don't it? Fellow who do that, he might do a lot worse, Britt. He might do a whole lot worse. You just mark my word. All right, let's have a look at that hand of yours.
Oh, sure, yeah. What?
Oh, now, don't let the redness worry you. You ain't scalded. Swelling has gone down a mite. Well, I'll just wrap it up real tight, and in a day or so it'll be good as new. Swear I don't know how I'd get along without Epsom salt. Seems like they're a remedy for almost everything. Put old Lady Murdoch on 'em last year when her liver was acting up. 4 or 5 doses, and she ain't had a bit of trouble since. Why, she was even at the barn dance last Saturday carrying on like she didn't have no liver at all. Now, if you'll just hold out your hand, Britt.
After Doc Early got through with his bandaging, my hand did feel a little better. At least some of the throbbing seemed to go away. So I left his office and I wandered over to the hotel. By the time I got there, they were serving supper in the dining room. Not family style either. They had a real fancy layout. Separate tables with flowers on them. 2 waitresses wearing little checkered aprons sort of matched the tablecloths. Of course, when a place is all fixed up like that, they always make it up on you. You know, Well, you can figure on paying a little extra for your food when they have a place. Now, for instance, the steak I ordered, it was going to cost 35 cents. That's what it said on the menu, 35 cents.
Here you are, mister.
Oh, thanks.
Looks like you're going to have trouble cutting it. What's wrong with your hand?
It's nothing serious. It's just a sprain. I guess maybe I should have ordered something I could spoon through.
Want me to slice up the meat for you?
No, I'll manage. I just get this thumb out of here. Yeah. I'll be all right.
Well, if you want anything, just holler.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, miss. I don't know why they give me the toughest steak in the whole kitchen. For 35 cents, you think you should have been...
Howdy, Britt.
Oh, Doc. Were you eating here, too, tonight?
No, Britt, I was looking for you.
For me?
Cal Plummer just come riding into town, says his ma's been shot.
Been shot? Cora?
That's what Cal says. He don't think it's too serious, but I'm going out the ranch now and see what I can do for her.
Oh, of course, sure.
Cal told me to bring you along.
Me? What for?
I don't know. He just told me to find you if I could and bring you.
He did, huh? That's funny.
Well, Britt, you coming or not?
Well, I sure don't see where I figure in this thing, but if Cal wants me,
sorry to drag you away from your supper.
Oh, that's all right, Doc. I'm afraid I was fighting a losing battle with that steak anyhow.
We'll return to James Stewart as the 6-shooter in just a moment. Every day, every one of us Americans has the satisfaction of knowing that right now we enjoy the highest standard of living in all history. And we've only begun, for it's a fact that our standard of living will rise still higher. And while we've made ourselves stronger economically, we've retained all of our basic freedoms. We work where we choose, we bargain collectively, contract our own affairs, and profit from our inventiveness and enterprise. That's the American economic system, and I'm for it. I'm sure you are, too. So let's keep things that way, friends. All of us. Now, Act 2 of The Six-Shooter, starring James Stewart as Britt Ponsett.
The Plummer Ranch was about half-hour ride east of Petersville. Real big outfit, too. Maybe, 50 square miles grazing land and all. The main ranch house just off the road was built beside. 2 stories tall with giant big windows face out. I remember hearing folks tell how Ned Plummer had to send all the way up to Chicago to get glass big enough for those windows. There was a couple of lamps burning somewhere on the first floor. You could see little lights spilling through the draperies. And the rest of the place was dark. Whoa, Scar. Whoa. Oh, boy. Oh. And we left our horses in the yard, Doc and I. And he grabbed his satchel with the medical instruments, and we walked up to the carved mahogany door, the front door.
Just a minute. Yes? Oh, Doc Early.
Evening.
Just what can I do for you, Doctor?
Well, Cal said that Miss Plummer, that Miss Quincy, your wife, that she was hurt somehow.
Oh, I see. Well, it's nothing serious, just a scratch. My gun went off accidentally. A bullet grazed her shoulder. But Cora's perfectly all right now. Matter of fact, I think she's already gone to bed.
Is it, Oliver?
Sounds to me like she's still up.
Well, I guess I was mistaken.
Yeah.
Oliver?
It's a doctor, dear, and,
My name's Ponsett. Britt Ponsett.
Britt Ponsett?
That's right. That's right, Mr. Quincy.
Well, I suppose you might as well come in, Doctor. Mr. Ponsett.
Hiya.
This way. I told him it was only a scratch, dear. But as long as Dr. Early rode way out here, I suppose he might as well have a look at you, just to be on the safe side.
Hello, Cora.
Britt. Why, what are you doing in Petersville? When did you get into town?
This afternoon. Didn't Cal tell you?
Well, no.
It must have slipped his mind.
Good evening, Cora. Let me see here.
Now, Doc, you shouldn't be troubling over me. I'm all right, really.
Well, of course you are, my dear. Of course you are. Bullet barely grazed his skin. I'm afraid the good doctor doesn't approve of my bandage.
No. It's perfectly satisfactory. At least it appears to be. I'd like to take it off, though, make certain there's no danger of infection. You mind stepping in the other room, Cora?
Well,
Go ahead, my dear. Go ahead.
I'll see you before you leave, Britt.
Oh, sure. I'll wait around till the doc finishes up.
Nice of you to ride out to Dr. Early, Mr. Ponsett. I imagine he appreciates having the company.
Well, it wasn't his idea, Mr. Quincy.
Oh?
No, Cal asked him to bring me along.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I reckon that makes us even. Whereabouts is he, anyway?
Calvin? I don't know. He hasn't been here all evening.
He wasn't around when the shooting took place.
It was not a shooting, Mr. Ponsett. It was an accident.
Well, whatever it was.
And Calvin was not here. I met up with him while I was riding into town to get the doctor, and he offered to save me the trip.
I guess I was under the impression you said Cora didn't need a doctor.
No, she doesn't. But at first, I didn't know how serious the wound might be. Then, when I got back to the house, I saw it didn't amount to anything. And by the time you and Dr. Early showed up, I'd forgotten the whole thing. That's why I was surprised to see you. For a moment, I couldn't think what you wanted.
Your gun just happened to go off, huh?
I was going to clean it. I thought it was empty. I guess I don't know too much about firearms.
What make do you carry?
Why...
He doesn't carry any make, but I do.
I hadn't seen Cal come in on the front hall, so I didn't know how long he'd been standing there. He was holding a .45, using it to cover his stepfather. The gun wasn't moving either. Cal's hand was as steady as his eyes. Steady and cold and determined. It wasn't the first time I'd seen a man with a look like that on his face. Now, not a killer's look exactly, at least not the look of somebody who wants to kill. More like somebody who hasn't got any choice.
I was wondering how you'd lie out of it, Quincy. The kind of story you'd tell. You weren't very convincing either, considering all the practice you've had.
Hey, Calvin, listen to me. I know how you feel.
You haven't got the slightest notion how I feel. If you did, you'd have left town like I told you a couple of hours ago.
Now, take it easy, Cal.
I gave him warning, Britt. I gave him fair warning. I said I'd kill him if he didn't get out and stay out for good.
I don't know what it is he's got against me, Mr. Ponset. I suppose I don't measure up to his
Measure
father,
up to him? I ought to kill you for even comparing yourself. Well, are you going or not, Quincy? Because if you're not, this time Ma ain't here to get in the way.
What? Was that what happened before? Is that how she got shot up?
It was his fault. He's got her so mixed up she doesn't see anything straight. She thinks he's fond of her the way she is of him. When she saw the gun, she ran forward, yelling and screaming. The way she grabbed my hand, that's what made it go off. I never meant to fire. Least of all, I never meant to hit Ma.
But your Ma's all right, Calvin. The bullet hardly touched her.
I don't believe... Is that true, Mr. Ponce?
That's right, Cal. Car's fine. Doc Early's in there now, just making certain.
All right, Quincy. Start moving before she comes back.
Now, hold on. Hold on a minute there now. This isn't any way to settle things. He's your mother's husband. She's got a right to know what's going on.
You think I want her to know what a liar he is? That he never cared for? You think I want to break her heart?
Well, what are you talking about, Calvin? I never lied to Cora. Never in my life.
And where's that big ranch you're supposed to own and all the money you're supposed to have?
What?
Tell Mr. Ponset about your holdings. He's been to Elk Point. And there ain't no Quincy Ranch.
Oh, you're not making any sense, Calvin.
I ain't going to stand around here arguing.
Put that away, Cal.
Not until he leaves. He gives me his word he won't be back. And if he don't keep his word...
Cal?
You don't figure in this, Mr. Ponset.
You got me out here. It was my idea.
Well, nobody's keeping.
This bandage isn't on my gun hand, Cal.
He's got you fooled into being on his side, too.
I didn't say that.
Look, ain't there nobody that sees him for what he really is? All he's trying to do is to get his hands on what my father left. Dad worked hard. All his life he worked hard. And when he was dying, he told me to look after Ma. Told me it was my job. Well, I'm going to do my job, Mr. Ponset. And nobody's...
You made enough trouble for one night.
I'm sorry, Ma. Didn't want you to be here. Didn't want you to find out.
Found out what? My son's turned into a lunatic?
I'm only doing it for you, Ma.
For me? Do you think you're helping me by carrying on like this? I've got my own life to live, Calvin. You've got to let me live it as I see best.
Ma, he's no good. I was trying to get him to leave before Sheriff Jay comes back from Roswell. Before the whole thing came out. Well, I guess it's too late now. I guess you'll have to know.
Know what?
He hasn't got a ranch. He ain't got any money.
Oh.
If you don't believe me, ask Britt Ponset. He only married you because of what Pa left you.
No. All I said that I didn't know of any Quincy Ranch near Elk Point. That's all I said. I haven't been around there for a couple of years. Maybe by now.
Well, there ain't no such ranch now either. Is there, Quincy?
Well, no, of course not.
There you see, Ma.
Calvin, listen to me.
He's admitting it, Ma. Why don't you face facts? Everybody else has been on to him. Everybody but you.
It's all my fault. I should have told you in the first place. I know that Oliver isn't rich. I never thought he was.
You never thought... Ma?
Well, maybe Doc and I had better get going, huh?
No, I'd like you to stay, Brent. Calvin is right about one thing, though. I've been making a fool of myself. What's worse, I've been making a fool of Oliver, too.
Now, Cora.
You see, Calvin, I've known Oliver for a long time. Your father and I, well, we were all friends back in Kansas. All three of us. Of course, that was before I married your dad.
You've known each other all these years?
Once, Oliver asked me to marry him. But I chose your father. And I've never been sorry I made that choice. I guess you know that, Ollie.
Well, sure, Cora.
But after Ned died, well, it was like part of me had died too. And I felt all hollow and useless, lonesome. Not a very romantic way of putting it. Lonesome, but that's how I felt. Like I couldn't go on by myself. Oh, you did your best, son, to keep me from thinking about your father and about myself. But it wasn't enough. And I kept remembering what your father said when he first took sick and he knew he wasn't going to get well. He said he'd take it as a compliment if I was to marry again, that it would mean our marriage had been a good one. But more than that, I think he knew I wasn't the kind to live alone. So I wrote to Oliver, asked him to come out to Petersville just for a visit. And then, well, us getting married was my idea.
Your idea, Cora.
Ollie was afraid of what folks would think. Me having this ranch and him not worth very much. He's afraid they'd get the idea he was marrying me because of my money. So I told everybody that he had a ranch of his own, even bigger than mine.
Boy, Cora.
Oh, I was just trying to make it easier on him, Britt, so he wouldn't be embarrassed, uncomfortable. Of course, Oliver didn't know what I was up to.
You shouldn't have done it, Cora.
I'm sorry, Ollie. But I'm not sorry I married you.
Oh, my.
You've got to understand, Calvin. It's true. I'm an old lady and a foolish one. And it's true I don't feel the same way toward Oliver that I felt toward your father. You only feel that once in a lifetime. And some folks aren't even that lucky. But it's better for me not to be alone in the time that's left. I think it's better for Oliver, too.
You should have told me, Ma.
Yes. Yes, I see that now. But I wasn't sure how you'd take it. Too bad you were dragged into this, Britt. You and Doc. But I wanted you to hear it all before you left.
Sure, Cora.
You knew Ned. You were a good friend of his. He thought a lot of you.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Oh, what would he think? How would he feel about my marrying again?
Oh, it's pretty hard to speak for somebody else, Cora. But Ned loved you. That was plain to everybody. So I guess he'd want you to be happy and content. That's what Ned would want.
Thanks, Britt.
Well, Doc, hey, it's about time we're getting back to town, isn't it? After that, I guess Cal and Oliver started hitting it off real well. Anyway, the last time I was through Petersville, folks were all talking about how much Oliver Quincy had done for the Plummer Ranch. Practically doubled the size of the herd, and now he was building a house down on the south pasture for Cal to live in when he got married. As for Sheriff Jay's story about Oliver not owning any property around Elk Point, well, the people just wouldn't believe that, that's all. The sheriff just hadn't done enough checking, that's all. A man like Oliver Quincy, why, he just had to be rich. It was written all over him.
The Six Shooter is a transcribed NBC Radio Network production in association with Review Productions. It is based on a character created by Frank Burtz and is written by him. Mr. Stewart may soon be seen in the Universal International picture The Glenn Miller Story. Others in the cast were Virginia Gregg and Jean Tatum, Robert Griffin, Parley Bear, and Bert Holland. Special music for this program was by Basil Adlam, and the entire production is under the direction of Jack Johnstone. All characters and incidents were fictitious and any resemblance to actual characters or incidents is purely coincidental. This is Hal Kibley speaking. Tonight, hear Margaret O'Brien in the NBC Star Playhouse on the NBC Radio Network.
71 years ago, December 27th, 1953, Jimmy Stewart as the six-shooter on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you will go by and visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. Like our show and share it with your friends, if you would please. Leave a review and tell folks why you like the show. That's always good. classicradio.stream. You can also buy something from the webpage, or you can buy me a coffee. That would be good, too. Up next, Have Gun Will Travel, starring John Dehner.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, make tomorrow your D-Day. Get an extra bond for defense. Step into any bank or post office and buy yourself a profitable share in America's future. As an investment, bonds are better than ever. They can help you save safely, conveniently, and profitably. So whether you already buy on the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank, get an extra bond for defense tomorrow.
Richard Boone was starring as Paladin on CBS in Have Gun Will Travel when the decision was made to bring the show to radio. Yeah, that wasn't usually the way things work, but it sure did with this episode, with this program. John Dehner, Have Gun Will Travel, and what the show had that the TV show didn't have was an actual conclusion. They did wrap up the show with a proper ending, and that never happened on the other show, on the television show. So let's listen to the radio version of Have Gun Will Travel, starring John Dehner. This goes back 65 years to December 27th, 1959, 65 years ago.
This situation is so mixed up with Chinese custom, family, and honor, I don't know where to turn. I'm afraid any move I make might endanger Hey Boy's life.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Huh?
Mr. Paladin.
Well, hey, boy, what in the world are you doing hiding behind that potted palm?
Shh.
Ooh. Sorry. Not hide and seek, hey, boy.
Oh, it's not frivolous matter, Mr. Paladin. More serious. Is Missy Wong coming down the hallway?
No, she turned into the linen room. If you're hiding from her, you can come out now.
Oh, good. Mr. Paladin, may I see you in room, please, for a discussion of most disturbing matter?
Why, certainly, hey, boy. Come on. Trouble?
Oh, my. Plenty trouble, Mr. Paladin.
Talk about best-selling records. Here's a familiar tune about America's best-selling filter cigarette, Winston. Winston gives you real flavor, full, rich tobacco flavor. And you know, that's because only Winston has filter blend up front. Choice, flavorful tobaccos, specially selected and specially processed for filter smoking. No wonder Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should. Smoke Winston.
Go on in, hey, boy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, what's the idea of trying to dodge Miss Wong? What have you been up to this time?
Oh, Mr. Paladin, hey boy cannot come face to face with Miss Wong at this moment. Hey boy confused. Hey boy crushed under a weight of most distressing problem.
Oh, come now, can't be that bad.
Oh, yes, sir, it's much worse. Here, this letter come from China today for hey boy.
Huh? Oh, I see. Well, of course, I could probably make a more intelligent comment if I could read Chinese.
Oh, Mr. Paladin, this is letter from Mei Jen, or how you say, go-between?
Go-between?
Yes, sir. Or the same like the marriage broker. This letter say go-between is come to San Francisco to settle arrangements for hey boy's marriage to his betrothed.
Your marriage to your betrothed?
Yes, sir, Mr. Paladin. That's what it says.
Well, no wonder you didn't want to face Miss Wong. Hey, boy, do you think you've been exactly fair to her, considering you're engaged to be married to a girl in China?
Oh, but, hey, boy, forget all about engagement to marry.
Now, wait a minute. An engagement to marry is not the sort of thing that just slips one's mind.
Oh, Mr. Paladin, you no understand.
Well, shall we try again?
Marriage contract made when hey, boy, 9 years old. Hey, boy don't know girl, never see girl. Parent make deal.
Oh, like that.
When hey, boy 15, he come to America. Oh, so different, many things happen. He forget.
Yes, I see.
Hey, boy like America. Hey, boy like Miss Wong. But now come go between those settled arrangements for marriage in China with girl hey, boy never seen. Hey, boy must leave America. Hey, boy must leave Miss Wong. And, oh, my.
Surely you're not obligated to go through with this thing.
Well, here is most distressing problem, Mr. Paladin. Hey, boy, mother, father, now dead. But aunts, uncles, cousins, girl, father, mother, aunts, uncles, cousins, all live in same village in China. And hey, boy must do nothing to make her lose her face. And, hey, boy in pretty pickle, huh?
Yeah.
You help, maybe?
Well, I don't know. It's a little out of my line, hey, boy, but I can try, I guess.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Paladin.
Well, it seems to me, hey, boy, that you're going to have to make a stand.
Make a stand?
That's right. I realize how important it is to save face and to avoid bringing dishonor to the families, but you'll just have to be firm. What's the girl's name?
Her name, May. Her father, Gi Kung.
Gi Kung. Any connection with the Gi family here in San Francisco?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is it the Gi family that controls the Gi Sun Yap Tong?
Yes, sir. Same family.
I guess that's the most powerful tong in San Francisco's Chinatown.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, they can call it a Chinese Mutual Benefit Association, but I guess you know as well as I do that they have their fingers on every underworld activity on the Barbary Coast.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. How about Guy Kum Ho, the Tong Hatchet Man, also known as Bloody Pete?
Oh, Bloody Pete, he May's brother.
Oh.
You see, Mr. Paladin, very essential, hey boy, not bring dishonor to family.
Oh, yes, I'm beginning to understand. Losing face takes on a new meaning. You tangle with Bloody Pete, and you're apt to lose your whole head.
Oh, my.
One thing, hey boy, you're going to have to face Miss Wong and explain this whole thing to her.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my.
Can you make the passing grade in driving? In other words, do you know and do you use what you know about safe passing practices? Almost every driver finds it necessary to pass other drivers at times. The problem is doing it safely. Here are some passing tips from the National Safety Council. Be sure there's plenty of time to pass before meeting another vehicle coming toward you. See that no other vehicle is about to pass you. Give a left turn signal for the driver behind and make sure he sees it. Sound your horn for the driver ahead and make sure he hears it. Speed up a little before leaving your lane, not after you get alongside the vehicle you're passing. Don't cut back into the right-hand lane too soon. And always pass on the left, unless the driver ahead has signaled his intention to make a left turn. Pass, friend, but do it safely.
I wanted to help Hey Boy, but when I began to weigh the odds, I was doubtful of success. The opposing force was too strong. 4,000 years of custom and tradition, and the most powerful organization in San Francisco's Chinatown, the Gi Sung Yap Tong. Even more discouraging was the fact that Hey Boy's prospective brother-in-law was none other than the highbinder known as Bloody Pete, chief of the Tong's professional murderers. I felt I would never fully understand Chinese custom, but I knew all I needed to know about killers. I thought about it all through the night, and in the morning it seemed so hopeless that for a moment I allowed myself to wonder what San Francisco would be like without Hey Boy. It was very depressing. Also, I hated the thought of facing poor little Miss Wong. Come in. Oh. Good morning, Miss Wong.
Good morning, Mr. Paladin. All right, clean rooms now?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, Miss Wong. Go right ahead.
Ta-la-la-boom-te. Ta-la-la-boom-te. Oh, ta-la-la-boom-te. Ta-la-boom.
Miss Wong, you seem so light-hearted this morning.
Oh, yes, Miss Wong, most time light-hearted.
Have you seen Hey Boy?
Yes, sir.
But did he have a chance to talk to you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Regarding a very grave matter?
Hey, boy, tell Miss Wong about marriage contract with girl in China.
But you, Miss
What's
Wong...
the matter, Mr. Paladin?
Nothing, I guess, except that it's constantly being brought home to me.
What, Mr. Paladin?
You can't figure women. I thought you'd be heartbroken, or at least angry.
Oh, you smart man, Mr. Paladin. Hey, boy, smart man. You fix.
It's nice you have such confidence in us, but I'm not so sure.
Oh, almost forgot. This letter come for you.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. This is from Mr. Sui Li Tsung.
Yes, sir. He go between. Come to make arrangements for Hey, boy.
See now. The illustrious great one who bears noble firearm and whose honorable will it is to journey forth always in benevolence, yet reaping great treasure, will receive the lowly inferior self of Sui Li Tsung on the 5th day of the 7th moon of the 14th year of Kwang Su.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
He want to know if man who have gone will travel will see Mr. Tsung week from next Tuesday.
Well, why didn't he say so?
He did.
Oh. Well, I wonder why he wants to see me. On Tuesday, the 5th day of the 7th moon of the 14th year of Kwang Su, I serve tea to the lowly inferior self of Sui Li Tsung. Mr. Tsung was a short, round man with a smooth, plump face and shrewd eyes. He wore an elaborate purple brocade robe and carried a delicate ivory fan in his small, dimpled hand. The fan fluttered continuously as he talked, and he talked a great deal. But as the afternoon wore on, I wondered when he was going to say something.
Excellency. This pitiable one is indeed honored to be at one time know the pleasure of such a cup of tea and to realize its pleasure in the presence of the esteemed one.
Yes, may I fill your cup, Mr. Tsung?
No, thank you. The great one of benevolent travel has been given a vast treasure to have permitted this unworthy to share his costly time thus far.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you have to be leaving.
Alas, the joy of such a meeting, rare and precious as it is, must, like all good things, come to an end. Deplorable one that I am.
What?
So entranced was I with the delight of each passing moment partaken in the presence of the noble one, that this poor muddlehead has experienced a lapse of memory. But now it comes to me, a matter to bring to the great one's attention.
Sit down, Mr. Tsung. So, now maybe we'll get to the point.
I beg your pardon?
What's on your mind? I'm sure you didn't ask to come up here today so we could have a cup of tea together.
If the great one will only allow this unworthy
Please, Mr.
soul...
Mr. Tsung, I don't wish to be rude, but if the unworthy one doesn't wish to waste any more of the great one's costly time, let's stop all this nonsense and get down to business. Now, what do you want?
Very well, to business. We will discuss conditions of the wedding of Kim Chang.
Hey, boy.
Yes, Hey Boy, the small name by which he is known to you. Now, you, as his benefactor...
Benefactor? I'm his friend.
We will assume that as his friend, you will in this case wish to place yourself in the position of benefactor as well. Now, there's the matter of the prescribed wedding gifts you're offering in the tradition to the family of the bride.
Well, I don't understand, Mrs. Tsung. Is it according to tradition to go outside the immediate family in this case?
Gi Kung, father of the bride, is generous enough to allow you as benefactor to share in their rejoicing.
I see.
May is the only daughter of Gi Kung. In view of this fact, he feels that besides the conventional ceremonial gifts, there should be an offering of substantial reality.
How substantial?
I believe he estimates in American dollars 5,000 would be of sufficient substance.
Well, Mr. Tsung, it is more than kind of Gi Kung to permit me to take part in this happy occasion and to share in his rejoicing to the amount of a $5,000 donation. But, you see, I'm opposed to this marriage. And if there's anything I can do to stop the ridiculous thing, I will.
Oh, my. That would be most unwise. The Gi family is a proud one. They could not bear the loss of face. May I humbly suggest it would be far more prudent to accept Gi Kung's indulgent offer.
More prudent? What do you mean?
Are you acquainted with Gi Kum Ho of your city?
You mean Bloody Pete?
Yes. He is so devoted to his only sister, I am afraid he would feel the necessity to avenge any dishonor brought to her.
That sounds pretty much like a threat.
As an Occidental, you would never understand.
I don't know, Mrs. Tsung. I believe a deal like this is recognized all over the world as blackmail. When I mentioned blackmail to Sui Li Tsung, he merely smiled, bowed his head a couple of times, fluttered his fan, and assured me that the lowly one's soul had known a feast in the time spent in the illustrious one's presence, or something like that, and he left. He apparently felt we had reached an agreement. As a matter of fact, I wasn't quite sure myself. The whole thing was so outrageous, I was confused. Several weeks passed, and we heard nothing from the Gi family. I was getting anxious. Hey Boy was getting pale and thin. Only Miss Wong seemed undisturbed.
You no finish your breakfast, Mr. Paladin.
I don't have much appetite. This situation with Hey Boy seems to me I should be doing something.
Oh, poor Hey Boy.
Well, I'm at a loss, Miss Wong. I'm afraid any move I make may endanger Hey Boy.
Bloody Pete, bad man.
Well, Even if I faced him, there'll still be the rest of the Gi Sung Yap Tong to uphold the honor of the family. I can't fight them all.
Mr. Paladin, you fool around with old customs. You have to fight all China.
You believe in this stuff, Miss Wong?
Miss Wong, Chinese girl. Miss Wong understand, but Miss Wong raised in missionary school. Miss Wong think different.
You don't seem to be as upset about all this as we are.
Miss Wong know one thing. Girls, girls. Boys, boys.
Well, yes. I've been aware of that for some time.
Hey boy, not see girl in China. He not want to marry. He like Miss Wong.
Yeah?
Girl in China, not see hey boy. Maybe she not want to marry. Maybe she have boyfriend.
Oh, Miss Wong, as I understand it, doesn't work that way. No. Chinese girl wouldn't dare go against her parents' wishes in a case like this. That would really bring disgrace on the family.
Sometime Chinese girl do, Mr. Paladin, sometime.
Well, I don't think it's anything to depend on.
We wait and see.
Mr. Paladin! Mr. Paladin!
Well, that's Hey Boy. Come in, Hey Boy.
Oh, Mr. Paladin.
What's the matter?
Downstairs in lobby, come this way. Bloody Pete, Sui Li Xiong, many men carry baskets on shoulders. Oh, many things.
You mean they're coming up here?
Yes, sir.
Well, don't worry, Hey Boy. They wouldn't dare start anything here in the hotel.
Oh.
I can't see what reason it. Well, anyway, I'd better have my gun ready.
They here already, Mr. Paladin?
Well, we'll see what they have to say. Right now, you just stand back, both of you. Mr. Sung?
Most illustrious one, I come with bowed head to your door as escort to the first son of the House of Gi, who walks in shame to this meeting.
What are you talking about?
May we enter?
Oh. All right. Just you, Sung, and the first son of the House of Gi here. Your gang can stay outside. All right, now, what's on your mind?
Kim Ho of the afflicted House of Gi wishes to prostrate himself at the feet of Chang of the noble House of Kim, family name of the one you call Hey Boy.
Look at that. I never thought I'd see the day Bloody Pete would be kneeling in front of Hey Boy. What did he say?
He say, I'm not a human being. Very sad thing to say.
Oh, Mr. Paladin, what happened?
I'm not sure, Hey Boy. What's the meaning of this, Sung?
The House of Gi mourns the loss of its only daughter.
Hey Boy's betrothed? You mean she's dead?
She is dead to the House of Gi. She has brought shame and dishonor to her family and brought a great wrong to bear on Kim Chang, whom you call Hey Boy.
How?
Word has come that she has in disgrace deserted her home to secretly marry an unworthy from the next province.
Oh, indeed. What humiliation. And how does the House of Gi propose to restore face to the House of Kim?
The House of Gi grovels in the dust and begs that Chang of the House of Kim will in grace accept the gifts the bearers hold. May I ask them to enter?
You mean all those men out there have presents for Hey Boy, whom you call Kim Chang?
Yes.
Sure, bring him in. You might as well tell Pete there he can get up now. Well, that's quite a windfall, Hey Boy, all those gifts.
Oh, yes. Oh, Mr. Paladin. Oh, my. Hey Boy, plenty confused.
Well, so am I. About one thing. Miss Wong.
Yes, sir.
How does it happen you were able to call a turn on this thing?
Oh, well...
Oh, come on. I know girls are girls and boys are boys, and you had it figured May had a boyfriend someplace, but... No, there has to be more to it than that. Now, what?
Mr. Paladin, you know cousin to Miss Wong named Sun Yap?
Don't believe I do.
Well, Sun Yap, nice boy, but most ugly boy ever lived.
Uh-huh.
Well, Miss Wong sent picture of Sun Yap to Chinese girl. Write on him Hey Boy name.
So she thought it was a picture of Hey Boy?
Oh, yes, Miss Wong only take chance, but Miss Wong think maybe Chinese girl rather lose face than spend all lifetime with face of Sun Yap. See? Oh, good, please, must get to work. Da-da-da.
Women.
Oh, you saw Mr. Paladin. Whew. Women.
brother, this miserable cold and my sinuses.
Haven't you heard about Dristan? Dristan decongestant tablets not only help drain all 8 sinus cavities, critical areas of cold's infection, but circulating through the blood, Dristan reaches all congested areas. In one fast-acting, uncoated 3-layer tablet, Dristan, for the first time, combines
a decongestant to shrink all swollen membranes, relieve pressure and pain,
an exclusive anti-allergent to help keep breathing passages dry and clear,
pain relievers to ease body aches, reduce fever,
vitamin C to help build body resistance. This is Dristan. Today, Dristan is widely imitated, but the exclusive Dristan formula cannot be duplicated. For real relief from cold's misery and sinus congestion, there's nothing like Dristan decongestant tablets.
Have Gun Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Paris and stars John Dehner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hey Boy, Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong, and Edgar Barrier as Sui Lee Tsung. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun Will Travel by Ann Dowd. This is Hugh Douglas inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun Will Travel.
"65 years ago, December 27th, 1959, Have Gun Will Travel here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll wrap up this edition with an episode of Claudia next.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Merrill.
In the American Cancer Society's vast effort to control cancer, there is one aspect that interests me particularly. This is the fellowship program for outstanding young doctors. Here are men who have devoted years to preparing themselves for their profession, college, medical school, interning, and perhaps more time as resident physicians. Many promising careers are open to them at this point, careers which will support their families comfortably. Yet, they accept American Cancer Society fellowships at $50 a week. Now, these dedicated young scientists are working for us. We owe it to ourselves to help them in this tremendous fight against man's cruelest enemy. We can and we must help this fellowship program as well as the other valuable endeavors of the American Cancer Society. Give generously. Mail your contribution today to Cancer, care of your local post office.
And we wrap up this edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of Claudia. This episode of the Coca-Cola Sports soap opera, goes back 76 years to December 27th, 1948, and it's bug time.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Go away, Claudia. Leave me alone.
Drink this hot tea, Mama. Come on, do you good.
I don't want hot tea.
Nobody cares what you want. Mrs. Brown, you have a cold. You have to have hot tea, too. The two go together, cup and lip.
Having a cold used to be a very pleasant affair until you came along.
I know you hate being taken care of. But you have a daughter, and that is her one mission in life.
Who says?
I says. Every child has to take care of her poor old mother in her old age.
And what are you doing? Practicing for that eventual day?
Drink your tea, Mama. Would you like another blanket?
I would not like anything except peace and quiet. You've been fussing over me all day, as if I had pneumonia or something. I don't even know how I let you talk me into getting back to bed.
It wasn't very difficult. I wish you'd take your temperature.
I don't have any.
Then why are you afraid of taking it if you don't have any?
Claudia, go away. I'm sick. I want to be alone.
You're sick? Since when are you sick?
I just said that so you... Oh, all right, give me the tea.
Mama, you sneezed.
Thank you for explaining to me.
How about a hot water bottle, Mama?
Claudia, will you stop fussing? You're going to catch my cold.
Oh, no, I won't.
How do you know?
Can you prove a cold is contagious?
Yes. I can also prove a cold is unpleasant, ornery, and people with colds ought to be left alone.
I know you better than that. If I let you alone, Mrs. Brown, you'd start feeling persecuted and neglected. And you wouldn't drink your tea either.
Why don't you try and...
Oh, dear. An electric pad, Mama.
2 more words and I'll wring your neck. I really think you want to catch this cold and pass it on to your son. Maybe that's what you have in mind.
Bertha is taking care of Bobby, and I am taking care of you.
I would be happy to exchange with Bobby.
How's your tea, Mama?
It's too hot to drink.
Drink it hot. It's supposed to burn you.
I can't drink it so hot.
Well, force yourself. When I have a cold, you always tell me to drink it hot. Now, I'm just getting even with you, that's all. Drink it, Mama.
Bully.
How's your head? Better?
Spinning.
Hello, I'm home.
David, hello. Mama's head is spinning.
I'll be right up to hold it down. I'll be right up.
I'm so glad you're home, David. I've been smothered with attention and drowned in hot tea.
Oh, I know you have a great deal to complain about, you poor thing. Here I have devoted the best years of my life nursing you through this cold. All I get is complaints, complaints, complaints.
Claudia? Claudia, you sneezed.
I did? Oh, well, what's a little sneeze? Everybody sneezes.
Claudia, you sneezed.
Oh, it's just the power of suggestion, Mama. I've been listening to you sneeze all day. Really doesn't mean a thing.
When you do it, but when I do it, it does.
Of course, you're my mother. I wonder, why do people always have to pretend they don't like being lazy in bed? Sounds delicious to me.
You hate bed, and so do I.
You know, I didn't think I'd mind it at all on a day like this. Gosh, it certainly is dreary and cold and nasty out. Nope, I don't think I'd mind it at all. Oh.
Claudia, you sneezed again. You're not feeling all right, I'm convinced.
What convinces you?
That you're wishing you were in bed.
I didn't wish. Give me your cup.
You said bed wouldn't be bad. That's all the convincing I need. Besides, your eyes look bright.
That's good. Bright eyes is good.
Not when it's a fever. Let me feel your hands.
Go away, go away.
Forehead warm.
My forehead is my business.
Then why isn't mine?
Well, because you're sick in bed with a cold. The minute a person is sick in bed with a cold, their forehead is public domain. Oh, it just won't come. Ooh, my nose is tickling.
Put your finger under it.
No, that doesn't work with me. There.
Claudia, come over here.
Will you please stop sounding so self-satisfied because I sneezed?
Just as I thought.
What?
Your hands are icy.
They aren't at all. It's just because yours are so warm.
Claudia, stop arguing with me. I know when your hands are icy or not, and I say yours are icy.
So what's the difference if they are a little icy? It's winter. Everything else is icy. You don't go around lifting your eyebrows.
Very funny. Now, listen to me. You pick yourself up and take yourself right out of here. And go put yourself to bed this instant and take your temperature.
I am not 3 years old, Mama.
You act as if you were. It's all your own fault, hanging around me, not letting me have my cold in private. Now go to bed before you get worse and pass it on to the rest of the household. You want David to be sick and Bobby?
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, Mrs. Brown, I will lock myself up in my room alone with cotton in all the keyholes.
And drink some hot tea.
Aren't you pleased with yourself?
Who sneezed?
We both sneezed.
Both of you?
She forced me to bed, David. Used brute force.
Good for her.
But now she's...
All I did is sneeze. Don't make a fuss, David.
And her hands are icy. Put her to bed.
This minute.
Honestly, a woman doesn't have a chance around here.
You're telling me.
Come along, you.
David, aren't you even going to ask Mama how she feels?
I know how she feels. She feels as if she had a cold in the head.
I feel fine.
Well, you look awful.
She takes great pleasure in calling people names.
Well, Claudia works under the theory that a good offense is the best defense.
Plot,
You
that's
just
all.
said that on a day like this, you'd be happy ensconced in bed.
That was before I knew I was going there.
Stop loitering.
That's one of his favorite words, Mama, loitering. Whenever he tries to be serious, he always starts talking about
I'm going
loitering.
to count to 10. 1,
I'll
2,
count with you.
3. Claudia.
1, 2, 3.
Claudia.
Goodbye, Mama. I'll just be in the next room in the next bed if you want anything.
If I want anything, it won't be you.
That means she loves me.
Now hurry up. Get yourself in some warm flannel pajamas and put the blankets under your chin. I'll get you a hot water bottle.
David, I don't want a hot water bottle.
You'll get what I want you to get, and that's final.
Honestly. You know you're as bad as I am. David, I feel fine. I just simply sneezed.
Well, we're going to nip you in the bud.
Oh, darling, I hate you having to come back from town and spend all your evening nursing me, especially when I don't need it.
Well, if you're really concerned about me, you'll do as I tell you.
Well, that is the only reason I'm doing what you tell me, so you won't worry, and
All right.
Bobby won't catch my cold if I have one, which
Well,
I haven't.
You certainly have.
Oh, David, please, I don't want you to fuss
Now
about
stop
anything.
running things. Take off your shoes.
I am doing my best.
Here, I'll take off the bedspread for you.
I must say, letting somebody think you're catching cold has its advantages.
How's your head?
Oh, it aches beautifully.
I'll get you some aspirin.
Oh, I hate taking pills.
Now hurry up. Get into those pajamas.
You're having a wonderful time, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I
Gorgeous.
just hope... Oh,
What do
dear,
you
I just hope... Well, I just hope you don't catch my cold, too. Because you don't know how to take care of yourself when you're sick.
Huh. The pot calling the kettle black.
All right. I'm in my flannel pajamas.
You certainly are. And looking suspiciously like a bunny rabbit. Here. Here's a lollipop for you.
David, I will not have
Open
my...
your mouth. Now, shush. Don't bite the thermometer in two.
Oh, darling, I love you so, but if I didn't have this thermometer in
Don't
my
talk
mouth,
with that thing in your mouth.
I'd really tell you how much I love you.
Now, shut up.
Yes, David.
Shut up.
Bed feels good.
Oh.
Guess I'm catching cold as that. Little one, of course. Guess I didn't realize because I was fussing over Mama, but my bones do kind of ache. I'll be all right tomorrow.
Yeah, sure you will. Now, give me the thermometer.
Here. I have no fever.
You have 102 tenths.
Well, that's no fever. 101/5.
It's over 1 degree.
Oh, well, silly old thermometer just doesn't know what it's saying, that's all.
I'll get you the hot water bottle.
It's in Mama's room, darling.
Don't let me catch you getting out of bed for anything.
Not on your life.
Mrs. Brown, how are you doing in here?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Norton.
I'm just making the rounds of my wards, checking up on my patients. Anything you need?
How's Claudia?
Oh, she's getting a cold, all right, no question about it. Now she's in bed, she admits she's glad she's there.
That child, she insisted on hovering around me all day.
Well, I can't blame her for that. Say, you mind if we borrow your hot water bottle?
Not at all. I have the electric pad, too, if you want it.
No, I think this'll be fine. If you want anything, call me.
I won't want anything.
Claudia, I fetched you the hot water bottle. Stole it right out from under Mama's feet, I did. Ooh, still sizzling.
Poor David, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Here, put it at Paul's feet, and I'll run downstairs and boil some more water.
Oh, darling, you better tell Bertha that Mom and I won't be down to dinner.
All right. 2 trays coming up.
David, you sneezed.
Was that David sneezing?
It was, Mama. David, you sneezed again.
Can a man sneeze?
No, a man can't sneeze without a reason.
Now, you lie still. You're the patient.
Oh, David, darling, how are you feeling? You catching cold? Have you been sneezing all day? Come on, let me feel your forehead. Come near. That settles it. When a man sneezes 3 times, it's a cold.
And when a woman sneezes...
3 times is a cold. Now, David, look me in the eye and answer me.
I will not.
Are your hands cold?
No.
Oh, darling, you can't pull the wool over my head. I can tell when you're not feeling like you.
Mm-hmm. Well, how can you tell?
Because you don't act like you.
Now, nothing can be clearer than that.
And you have a circle under each eye.
Well, that's where they belong.
Not on you, they don't. Mama! David has a cold, too.
Mama, I do not.
Tell him to get into bed.
Did you hear that, David? Get into bed.
I don't want to get into bed.
Bed is the only place to be. You'll see, David.
God bless you, Mama.
God bless you, Claudia.
God bless you, David.
What we need is somebody around here without a cold.
Well, there's Fritz.
No, he's too busy to be of any use.
And there's Bertha.
Oh, Bertha.
That's
Just the
heaven.
woman to nurse me back to health.
We'll have her cook us hot puddings.
Hot puddings.
And bring us hot water bottles.
Hot water bottles.
With hot bricks in it.
Hot bricks in it.
To keep our feet warm.
Hot feet.
And chicken soup.
And noodles.
Of course with noodles, Mrs. Brown.
Oh, shoot.
Mama, was that you?
No, that sneeze had a German accent.
That sneeze takes the noodles out of the chicken soup.
That sneeze reduces our sniffles to just being sniffles. Honestly, to think that Bertha would do this to us.
It just goes to show you can't trust anybody.
Shoo! God bless us all.
And a gesundheit for Bertha.
When you pause to hear a radio program during the day, when the family gathers around to listen to an evening favorite, it's pleasant to have ice-cold Coca-Cola at hand. Or even the best of entertainment is more enjoyable when you listen refreshed. Oh, David, before I leave, why don't you take yourself a mustard plaster?
Take myself a what?
Well, that's what my wife always says.
Shh. You'll give Claudia ideas. Now, go away, Joe. Go away with your mustard plaster. Besides, we'll all be in fine shape tomorrow. You wait and see.
So quick?
Mm-hmm. Sure, I'm feeling better already.
Well, I hope you're right, David, about tomorrow.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, you'll need your health, you know, when the oil furnace loses its...
Nonsense now. Our oil furnace is fine, and so am...
So am I.
Sure you are. God bless you, David. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manu Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
76 years ago, December 27th, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Got some good shows ahead. As we mentioned tomorrow, drama. We're also going to have comedy coming up on Sunday with the Lux Radio Theater, My Friend Irma, Duffy's Tavern, and then on Monday, the Seal Test Variety Theater New Year's Eve program. Also, the Great Gildersleeve New Year's Eve, Burns and Allen New Year's Eve, and the Aldrich family on New Year's Eve. So we got a lot of New Year's Eve stuff coming up here. Thanks for being with us here. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.